Second. You waiting for other people?
I'm going live right now.
All right, go ahead, but I'll be here in like a second.
Okay.
All right.
Second is up. Well, we're live now.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up.
You waiting for other people?
As they come in, we are, but as they come in, I'll add them. As long as they decide to come in, I'll add them. If it's just us, we'll do the best we can.
All right. So, is your name of the YouTube channel?
What's the name?
Yeah. So
Founding Players.
Fun Players. Okay.
Yeah, FOUNDING Players.
All right.
PAYERS.
All right. I see you.
I'm going to YouTube on the other phone as well. So
Okay. All right, well, we're gonna get started with our introduction. I'm gonna start with myself. I am Savon Smith, founder of Savon's Academy Stars, is a basketball program with the city of Royal Palm Beach in West Palm Beach, Florida. And also I'm the founder of Founding Players, which is this organization. And this is our YouTube channel. Founding Players came to be based off of 6 basketball players that I started Savon's Academy Stars with. And I named this organization after those 6 players. And it's called Founding Players because I wanted to be thankful of the opportunity that those kids presented and their parents presented for me to be able to use basketball as a tool, you know, to help kids to get scholarships into college, both athletic and academically. And that's it in a nutshell. We'll go down the line. Pierre.
You want me to go?
Yeah, Pierre. Let Pierre go.
All right. My name is Pierre Abraham. I'm a husband and father. I got 2 girls. I'm Ali's neighbor. So yesterday we was talking about the stock, and I'm very interested about it. So I'm ready to go. I work for FedEx, and then I'm a homeowner, and then I'll try to get more money. You know, just
that's the goal. That's the goal.
All right, CJ, go ahead.
All right, so I'm an associate at Walmart currently. I own 2 businesses, a startup. It's a retail clothing streetwear brand, and the other one I'm trying to start my own basketball agency. I'm into stocks right now. I'm doing okay in it. and I'm about to get my real estate license soon. So I'm trying to go up.
Good.
I want to major in everything. That's
Okay.
basically it.
All right, sounds good. All right, Andrew, if you could unmute your mic.
Yes, sir. What you guys doing?
Very good.
Yeah, introduce myself again, Andrew Jackson, home improvement contractor. I'm also, I used to have a trucking company. I no longer anymore. I drive truck from time to time. When I'm bored with home improvement, I'll just go out on the road and come back. I can build your house if you want. I'm very versed in electrical and plumbing. I'm not licensed for those, but I can do everything else. And I'm currently not in any kind of stocks right now, but I'm interested, and that's my next move, that I want to get into stuff like that, because you're getting older. You need to start, your body can't do this work anymore, so you need to figure out a way out to make your money work for you instead of you working for your money all the time. You know what I mean? So, this is why, especially, how old are you? The youngest guy here.
Oh, I'm 20.
All right, that's good.
I'm 20.
Yeah. So, what I mean? Now is the time to get in, you know what I mean? And start figuring out other ways, because trust me, your heart may not fail you, but when your body start failing you and you can't work as hard anymore, you got to figure out a way out to make money easier. And
Yeah, 100%.
what I keep telling everybody all the time, we as Black people, we always working for money. But if you look at everybody else, they make their money work for them. You know what I mean? And it helps you not to be so stressful all the time over stuff. You know what I mean? Because, once you start making your money work for you and we stop putting our money into garbage and put it the right places, then we're good. I'm not going to take up too much of the time. So let's go.
All right. All right. So we're going to move to Alan. And after Alan is done, we'll explain how we're going to go about making this roundtable work for us.
Sure. All right. My name's Alan. My current background right now, I have 15 years in the banking industry. From opening bank accounts to servicing bank accounts to taking credit applications. I currently work for one of the major banks right now in the US. Just like the other gentleman said, he wanted to become a licensed realtor. I'm already a licensed realtor for the past 6 years. So, the other younger gentleman, Mr. Stufront, you got the right idea. You have to do multiple things to make money these days. One source of income is definitely not enough. And I'm also an investor and a landlord. So I own more than one property, basically. I'm not an expert by any means in this investment field. The whole group is so we can build on each other and help each other out. I want to put that out there. I've been investing back and forth for the past, 10, 15 years. And then I met Savon. So, I got back into it, basically. So yeah, that's basically my intro.
Okay, awesome. Well, before we get started, I'm going to mention, a lot of us have, financial strain. And CJ, you being a young man and, realizing what you want to do at such a young age of 20 years old, I'm sure it didn't start at 20. It started when you were younger. I'm not sure if your parents, instilled that in you, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely going to need you to let us know. But in a few minutes, let us know how you got started, what led you to this road, and after you finish that, we're going to ask Alan to step in and, fill us in on his background and what he thinks about what, a young man like you should do, when it comes to credit, and investing and things like that.
All right.
With that being said, give me a second. Let me share my screen. All right, before we get into this, I wanted to read this. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment and education purpose only. This video is not financial advice. You can lose money in investing into the stock market. You are liable for any loss that you incur from investing in the stock market. I shall not be held liable for any losses you may incur while investing or trading on the stock market. Contact a licensed financial professional in your area for professional advice. Wanted to run over that before we get started. Let me stop sharing my screen. All right, so now we're back. So, Alan,
Yes, sir.
is there anything you wanted to add?
Add as far as the disclaimer or what we're
Yeah.
getting?
Yes.
No, that pretty much covers it. Again, we're just emphasizing that we're just a group of men, and sometimes we have women on the call as well. So I'll say collectively, or we're a group of people just trying to uplift each other and help each other out, basically. So again, we're not financial advisors. We're just normal people who do research and try to invest our money so we can get out of the rat race of working our regular 9-to-5 jobs, basically.
Yes. All right. So we're going to get into it with you, CJ. Tonight, I wanted to make it about young people understanding, what they need to do to invest and plan out a good future. And you seem to be on your way with that, but it had to come from somewhere. So if you could please let us know how you got to this point.
Well, it's mainly from my parents, especially my dad. Well, both my parents are immigrants, and I've seen how hard they work. They pretty much told me all my life I had to work hard to get where I want to go. And my dad, he told me, like, as soon as I got out of BC, I had some debt on me. That's where it all started. He told me as soon as I finished paying off my debt, I didn't know how to get a credit card, because every time I applied for a credit card, my credit score would go down, or I wouldn't be able to get a credit card. So he told me to get a secured card. That's when I started building up my credit score. I seen that I was getting financially better. And then he brought up Robinhood too. Like, he wanted me to have ownership. So I started dabbling into Robinhood. I seen a couple companies. I started doing my research, and I pretty much that's how I grew.
Okay.
Like, I just Robinhood. But also, he told me he's an entrepreneur too. So he told me to look into whatever I wanted to do. And I was interested in streetwear and clothing, and I started my own brand. So I'm hopefully going to drop it next month. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. So I want Alan to jump in, and Alan,
Sure.
go ahead.
Yeah, you actually prematurely touched base on some of the stuff we wanted to talk about. We definitely want to reach out to not just young investor, everybody in general, especially in our community, Black men. My family definitely comes from an immigrant background as well. I could see the last name, so I got an idea where your family's from. And we basically know where what they have instilled into us. You know how it is coming into this country, and how our parents had to work hard for everything they have, basically. And one thing I was speaking to Savon about is student loans. You mentioned that. Our parents coming from immigrant backgrounds, they come into the country very proud, and they want us to go to school. They want us to go to school by any means. And one of the things that can destroy us, or that harmed me when I was young, was just signing a bunch of student loans. Those could be very, very detrimental to your future. Me being a property owner, this is my third property that I purchased. but I manage other properties on the side as well. You know, a lot of young folks, we sign on the dotted line not knowing that when you're ready to buy a property, it could affect you. I remember buying my first condo and they told me, hey, Alan, you have X amount of student loans and car loans. So that's affecting what we call your DTI. DTI stands for debt to income ratio. That's basically if you have more debt than income, then it's going to be a negative calculation against you when you apply for, say, even a car. You go apply for a new vehicle or you go buy a new house. So I found myself, right now I'm in my 30s, I found myself when I was in my 20s trying to buy my 3-bedroom condo. You know, I had a 700 plus credit score. But guess what? When the bank told me you have a good credit score, man, but your debt to income ratio is affecting you. So unfortunately, with your 735 credit score, we still can't approve you for this loan because of your debt to income ratio. So that's, again, that's what I wanted to touch base on. I know you're probably the only younger guy on here, but we learn from our mistakes, you know? And, you know, we just want to reach out to the youth. And I know you just starting out, and even some folks around my age group are older, because there's a lot of temptation out there. Me and Savon touch base on that. There's always going to be the new iPhone that costs $1,500. It's never going to stop. People sleep in line to get the new iPhone. Nothing wrong with that. But our people tend to spend it before we have it. And I touch base on that on the last call. Nothing wrong with nice stuff, but buy it when you have it, you know? So I drive a nice car and it's several years old. Nothing wrong with a brand new car. But again, people are affecting their future by constantly signing on a dotted line on something that depreciates. The minute you drive that car off the dealership, the value starts dropping. Every mile you put on that vehicle, the value stops dropping. But guess what happens with real estate? Your value drops, it goes up. Right now, you can't find a house if you try to, because everyone's trying to move to South Florida. I'm speaking to you as a realtor, you know, and as someone who's been through it, you know. So I want to give some people other time to talk. I don't want to talk too much. So
all right, so what's going to happen, Alan, is based off of what you just said, we'll each get 2 minutes, you know, to speak on it. And I'm going to take my 2 minutes and then we'll go down the line.
Definitely.
Okay, you mentioned debt to income ratio.
Yes, sir.
I built my credit as well, Alan, over the years. You know, so I myself had a 7+ credit score as well. And one thing I did was I used 30% of my credit, and then you paid off that 30% at the end of the month. You know, you continue to do that every month. That way, when you go to buy a home, you know, they see that your debt to income ratio is pretty good, you know. So ideally, you should be using 30% of, so in other words, if you have a credit card that's $10,000, you should be using 30% of that card, you know, which is $3,000, and you try to pay that off at the end of the month, you know. So that's how I kept my credit, you know, good, to be able to, you know, get things that you want, is to use 30% and try to pay that off at the end of the month. If you kept it, let's say you couldn't pay it off at the end of the month and you kept it below 30%, that's a great debt to income ratio.
Correct, because what affects your credit as well is credit usage. If you don't use it, then your credit could very well drop. So that's a good point.
And one more point before we move on to someone else. As I said, I always take notes. So I have all my notes and my points I was gonna address based off of what you just went over, Alan. You mentioned buying a home, you know, the value drops, but then it goes up. And I wanted to mention, so does the stock market. And I wanted to hit that point because a lot of people don't think when you're investing your money, there is going to be losses. But we'll get back to that. And I'm sure CJ, as a young man, he understands that. So if we can use CJ to guide other people to understand, when you invest, be patient. All right, next line. We'll go with Pierre.
Yeah. So I mean, I was gonna say I grew up in a business. My parents own a business in Haiti, so basically I grew up in a business environment. But my issue when I when I moved to America, because Haiti everything's cash, so you buy your stuff cash. So the stuff for the credit, I had no knowledge about the credit because I think once you have a good credit score, you could purchase anything. But you have to build your credit through CJ was saying. You need to have a secure card to build your credit. So other than that, I love the business. I was a DJ for years. I was a promoter, and then this is actually my second property buying. And then you guys talk about stocks. I'm intrigued about stocking. So let's let's do this.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Now we'll go with CJ.
What's up?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your thoughts on what Alan just said? Anything you want to say?
I didn't know. I didn't really realize that there wasn't credit in Haiti. That's interesting. But I have a couple tips for young people if they want to get interested in, get started with investing.
Okay.
You want me to tell them right now, or we could
that-
save that later?
Yeah, save that for later when we start talking on the stock market. We'll let Andrew go. And Andrew, we know you're passionate. We're gonna have to try to stay between this two.
Yeah. The thing is, with credit, you really do only if you have millions of dollars, then you can't just go buy stuff cash. You know what I mean? But you have to really protect your credit all the time. You know what I mean? Especially with business now, like any business that you start, as you say, you have to have patience because sometimes you go like even 2, 3, or maybe like the third year, that's when you start seeing some kind of profit from your business. You know what I mean? So with anything that you do, you always have to have some kind of patience and don't give up. You know what I mean? Because then now you have to really, even if you realize that you're like impatient, you have to really teach yourself how to be patient because you can jump out too quick and then it start flourish. You know what I mean? You're gonna look back at it and be like, damn, I should have stayed in that or whatever. You know what I mean? But anything that you do pertaining to like business or you got to be very patient with it, and you know when to get out. Because you always have to be doing your research and things and watch what's coming down the pike. You know what I mean? You can't just sit there and just say, well, oh, my business is doing good. But you got to watch on any new regulations that come out if it's going to affect your business or credit. You know what I mean? Because they're always putting something out there to change stuff that will affect you. So you have to always, when you're running a business or anything at all, you have to be looking what's coming next. You know what I mean? You can't just sit down and relax because if the money is coming in, one day everything can just go sour. You know what I mean? And I'm speaking from experience, because every time somebody invent something or come up with something new, it change how business operate. You know what I mean? Because people might not need your business anymore because something come out to make it much easier. So, and for you, what is it, Ron? You're not just teaching the young kids, you're teaching me also, okay? So anytime you say anything, it's for me also, it's for everybody.
Okay.
No, it's not Ron. What's your name again, the young kid?
TJ.
Oh, TJ.
C.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
You're not just teaching the young kids, you're also teaching me also, okay? You're never too old to learn, all right?
All right.
All right.
Hey, listen, that's a true statement because, me and Alan also spoke earlier about using sports because that's my expertise. And to piggyback off what you just said, Andrew, about, not being too old or to learn, there's been times when I'm coaching a basketball game and my players are out there playing and I go there with a game plan and the game plan has to change. My game plan has to change that I had for them based off of the other coach maybe making an adjustment, and the kids who's out there playing the game, because I had my time, so I'm not on the court, they are, and they might see something and come back to the coach and staff and say, hey, coach, I think you should try this. But if you shut them down, you know, you not giving them a chance to get their point across and get them to try, or give their suggestion a try, and it just may work. So it does go both ways. And it worked out a lot of times, for our organization, for our players to be able to come speak with us, similar to parenting. If you give your kids a voice, they listen a lot more. Alan,
Yes, sir.
anything?
No, I piggyback on what Andrew said. I like the fact that he brought up age, because you're never too old or you're never too young to learn. I spoke to a young man earlier as well. And matter of fact, this week while I was out on the field working, I bumped into an 85-year-old white male. I'm just using his race as an example.
Mhm.
This 85-year-old man knew about stocks that I'm watching right now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And I was telling Savon about that this afternoon. 85 years old. Usually someone's in a nursing home or whatever. No, this guy was telling me, he was like, man, I grew up in the 1930s, 1940s. I knew electric would eventually take over. And he was like, and he told me, he said, young man, are you invested in Tesla? I'm like, I'm invested in some other companies, but not Tesla. He's like, okay, you're smart. He's bringing up NEO to me. I was just shocked at his age that he's still monitoring the market and he knows what the new stocks are. That's all I wanted to piggyback, because Andrew brought that good point as far as the age is concerned.
Okay. Andrew, you also brought up, when you're running a business, you have to look what's next. And a lot of the things that we are actually talking about in real life are on this YouTube. It's funny, the stock market works the same way. So it's like right now we're out with the old, in with the new. And if there's a company that been there, they have competition. Tesla been there, got competition. I'll let Alan even speak on their competition, because he's been doing research on that.
The competition as far as electrical?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of touched base on the last call. Some people will look at a stock like Tesla and get intimidated. And that's one thing the 85-year-old gentleman was telling me. He was like, well, $785, not a lot of people can afford that. But what we don't think about, and I brought it up on the last call, and I'm bringing it up again, you don't always have to buy Tesla. You can find out who makes the parts for Tesla. Tesla does not manufacture every single part in their car, such as batteries. And that's one thing. That's one reason we have this group going, to help us think outside of the box. There's companies that make the batteries for Tesla. How about the charging stations? The gentleman that brought up one that I was shocked. He said, "Are you invested in Plug?" That's a company that specializes in the EV market. There's another one called Fuel Cell. There's another ticker symbol called ABML. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you guys examples. ABML, what they do is, that stands for American Battery. They recycle lithium batteries. So why would Tesla want to constantly buy new batteries? That's expensive. So if they look at companies that can recycle batteries, that's a company that they would definitely want to purchase. So guess what? Timing is everything. It's important to get in early. Remember, Bitcoin used to be, 10 cents at one point? How much is Bitcoin now? It's almost 60,000. It touched, and I monitored it today, it's like 57,000, right? So again, that's just running down the list of, some stocks you guys want to research. And again, we're not financial advisors. We may give you tips, but it's up to you to do research. If Savon say, hey, Alan, here's 20 stocks, take a look at them. I reached out to Savon. I said the other day, I said, Savon, there's one of these stocks I love these stocks, but one of them really stands out to me. And I bought like 6 of them. It's called KNOS. And he's like, why? I said, well, this company's coming out with a special edition machine that could clean the air, and they're testing it against COVID. And guess what this stock is going for right now? What was it going for when we talked, Savon? It was like 17 cents, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So these are just examples that we're giving you guys. So what do you guys think's gonna happen if this machine is successful? You think that stock's gonna stay at 20? It's at 20 cents now. You know, so that's why it's important to do research and know about this stuff early. You can't count on anybody to do research for you. We can just give you tips, but do your research and get in early, and you can make money.
Yeah, it's happening now where I did my research, I believe it was around July of 2020, where I researched blockchain technology, and I was able to find, stocks that was going to change the world, and that is still changing the world. And when I met CJ, I showed CJ my, Robinhood account, and then he showed me his, and I was very, very impressed with CJ's Robinhood account, and for a young man to have that amount, that I was impressed, so it means he knew something about where he was putting his money. But then I told him, hey man, you got to get on this change that's happening. COVID-19 turned a lot of things around, and it's turned a lot of things around. The vaccine, the new technology, everyone was talking about the 5G, but it wasn't. I told people it's not the 5G that you should be worrying about investing in. It's the new technology called blockchain technology. It's gonna change the financial system, and it's doing just that right now. So, it's the best, one of the best area you want to put your money in. And of course, energy. You mentioned, Biden being our president now. He's all about, energy. So things are changing, man. Electric. Just think of when you had gas stove in your house. Most homes now have electrical stoves, man. So there's a lot of changes, man. Oh, how about cars? How about cars that's going to be driving themselves? I'm no financial advisor, but you have to look to see what's happening around you. So just think of that. But I'm impressed, CJ. I'm definitely impressed. Before I go to CJ, because I think CJ wanted to say something before I go to him. Anybody else? No? All right, CJ, the floor is yours, man.
All right, I don't know how many viewers in this chat right now, but I could give them some tips on how to start. So first off, if it were me, when I first started investing, I was pretty modest with how much shares I bought because I didn't want to dive too deep into it. So I bought it at a certain amount, like 5, 10, 15. And you gotta invest what you can afford too. Like say about $20 a week if you're starting out. And you want to do your research too on the company that you invest in, because that's a big deal. You can't just throw money into it because investing is a risk. And you want to diversify your portfolio too, because you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You need like a cushion just in case. So that's what I would do. That's mainly what I focus on. But mainly just focus on the areas that you have knowledge in. Don't go out for like maybe like a COVID vaccine. Like I'm not really too into science, but I know about gaming, a little bit of cars, stuff like that. So that's what I do.
Okay, and remember you said you like to do a little bit of everything, so try to apply that as well. You come out of your comfort zone a little bit and do more research outside of the things that you're comfortable with. Because when I showed you my profile,
I'm gonna get into crypto.
Yeah, when I showed you,
I'm gonna get into crypto too.
Yeah, and remember when I showed you my profile, it's basically based off of a little bit of everything. You spoke about diversity, and my profile is based off a little bit of everything. What I did not know about, I learned about. So I deliberately bought enough stocks to watch and see how they move. I could literally almost tell you what a stock is going to be tomorrow or this week based off of the type of research and how long I've been holding a stock and seeing the performance of the stock. So when I'm able to share the knowledge with someone else, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just sharing the knowledge, invest at your own risk. But it's because I have been watching those stocks as if they are my kids, and I know, or I have one son, but it's almost like I know let me use the basketball program, for instance. I know all the kids that I've coached over the years. I know about them. I know what they're about. They're like blood, even though they're not my blood kids. I know about them because I took the time to really understand them. That's the same thing that I'm doing with my stocks. I'm taking the time to really understand what is going on. Let's go to cryptocurrency. When Bitcoin is doing what Bitcoin is doing, and there's all these people saying this and saying that, experts saying this and experts saying that, and non-experts saying this, it's a little bit much. It's a little bit much. So what do? I go about my daily life and I watch for myself. No one can influence how I'm going to think about how the Bitcoin is moving. How many times I've passed you, CJ, while you're at work and told you where Bitcoin is about to go. I've said that to you a number of times, and it has done exactly what I've told you.
It did. It's up right now.
And it's up to where I said it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not God. I'm just paying full attention. So when I'm investing in something, I believe in it and I watch it. There's a stock right now that I have. It's been under $2 since last year, February. It hasn't passed there. It went down to 60 cents and then it came back up to 90 cents and then it went back down to 60 cents. And right now it's trading them at 160. I understand that stock so much that I'm not waiting for it to go up tomorrow. It's not going to go up tomorrow based off of me, how well I understand it. It's been performing like that for a whole year. So what do I do with a stock like that? I know if I need $10,000 this week, this month, I'm not putting it there. There's other stocks that I pay attention that I could put $10,000 in and say, you know what, I need $10,000 by such and such a time frame. It's like doing options. I know, pretty much have an idea. Stocks is doing similar to what Bitcoin's doing. So I do my research and pay attention. But the thing is with the stock that I'm telling you about, why am I still holding it when it's not really performing? That's where the patience come in. It's not really performing, but I know if the stock is maintaining like that, I know one day I might wake up and that stock might be from $1.30, which is where it's at right now, and it hasn't passed $2 in a year, but I'm holding on to that thing their life because I did my research and understand that, you know what, this is going to be a big surprise one day. So when you guys wake up and you're seeing, oh my God, did you see AMC? Did you see GameStop? You might have a stock in your portfolio that you're not watching, and that might be the one. And that's basically what I'm saying. And patience, man, is a good thing to have. I think we started at 9:07, so we almost about to wrap this up. So who wants to jump in and say something?
I can jump in really quick.
Go ahead.
And if you have to go to 10, that's fine. Andrew, okay. And I know you're just starting off, Andrew, and you're trying to get in, but I just have ideas that pop up in my head because I do research, right? So I know you're in the construction business, correct?
Yes, sir.
So some stocks that you can research, it's good to research and know, listen to rumors and what's going on. For example, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but there's a penny stock called SIRC. You know what they do? That's a contracting company that builds solar panel roofing, right? But you know what they're doing? Just like Savan was saying, sometimes you got to pivot and you got to have diversity. They're going into the EV market because they're saying, you know what, we make solar panels for roofs. That's great. But what are we going to do when people don't want a solar panel on their house or, solar panel tiles? Oh, you know what? Everyone's trying to get a Tesla or everyone's trying to build the next electrical car. So let's start building electrical power stations. So now they're pivoting into charging stations for vehicles. And again, I'm just letting you guys know how much you have to research and dig deep into some of these stocks to know how they pivot. And Savan brought up diversity. You have to have a diverse profile. I don't like all this COVID thing going on, but guess what? Savan told me when I first met him, he's like, hey, Alan, watch this stock. He told me about this stock, or he mentioned it to me. He didn't say buy it. He said, check this stock out. That's all he told me. It was 67 cents. And some of these stocks will make you upset. I'm not gonna lie, because you're watching them. You're like, how come it's not moving, man? It's going down. Next thing you know, it went up to $5, then $10. And by the time I blinked, that 67-cent stock went up to $18.77. And that's a company that does they treat eye disease. But because COVID is such a big subject, right? They started pivoting into the vaccine. They're trying to roll out a vaccine. Again, I'm just giving you guys an example how a lot of companies are pivoting into stuff they never did. And that's how we got to be with our portfolios. You got to have a diverse portfolio, because if you have a bad day with electrical cars, a good day with medical marijuana, then your portfolio may be half red and half green, but you'll be balanced. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, Andrew, before you jump in.
What was that one again? What was the name of that stock?
You can do
SIRC.
Yeah.
SIRT?
SIRC.
SIRC. Yeah.
All right, but I think you want to say something before you jump in. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and because as I said, I understand the stocks that I deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is just me personally. I'm no financial advisor, but me personally, I'm looking for SOS Limited, to go up, tomorrow.
Hold on.
I'm looking for
SOS
Limited to go up tomorrow. Do your own research. Know what you are investing in, invest at your own risk. But me personally, I'm looking for SOS to do, things this Monday. And again, it's from the research that I've done, and I'm seeing how the stock is performing. Another company that's similar is FTFT, Future Fintech. Again, guys,
Fintech.
Whether these things get up right now or not, these things are going to go up because of the new system, the new financial system. These things are going to go up. So patience.
You say FTFT?
Yes. Future Fintech.
Okay.
That's the name. And SOS. And I'll give one more example. CAN, which is Canon. You can write that one down too as well. CAN, which is Canon. I've been holding that stock for a very long time as well, when it was under $2. And I was like Alan said, you gotta have patience, and it'll drive you crazy to watch a stock that you believe in just sits there, and I literally just got patient from watching this stock just like being hard head. And I'm like, will you go up already? And it's like, I'm not going up. I'm like, come on, need you to go up, man. Like, I got faith in you, go up. Like, I'm not gonna move. I'm like, so what do I have to do to move you? I don't know, I'm just not gonna move. Well, guess what? It really moved. This past week, it really moved. So what I'm saying to you is that's gonna happen with FTFT. Same process, FTFT. You're gonna wake up one day and it's gonna move. You know, SOS, I think it'll move back and forth. But FTFT, definitely gonna move from where it's at right now. You know, so I'm just sharing, no financial advisor, but those are the stocks that I'm holding on to, you know, for my personal gain.
Savon, quick question. How do you view a red day? Just so we can see everybody's thought on it.
Okay. I'll use the reddest day I ever had since I've been on the stock market, which was last Thursday was the reddest day I ever had. And I'm looking at this red day and I'm saying, oh my goodness, I just lost that much money. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, why am I excited about losing that much money? And other people are like so upset when they lose money. And I'm sitting there looking at this red day like, are you seriously going to take back all that money that I gained? And I'm saying, you know what?
Invest.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool because I'm gonna buy. And CJ, you said something. I think I walked by you and said, yo, everything's down today. And I even showed you my account and it dropped. And you said, whoa. And I still had that big amount. So I said, CJ, imagine where it's gonna go if it's right here. You know, so just think about that. I had a red day, red. Showed it to CJ, and he was like, "But you're still up." I'm like, "Yeah, still way up, not just up, way up." But it was a bad day, and I was still excited about that red day because as much as I lost, I was gonna triple it. You know, and that
I like
triple
that.
isn't here yet. Yeah, that triple isn't here yet, but it doubled. But that triple is coming.
And truth be told, Savon, those are called paper losses. You didn't lose. You didn't really lose. Your stocks are just down. I explained it to my wife today because I obviously got my wife set up as well with her own trading accounts. I told her it's just like everything on clearance at Macy's. They're about to close out one store. Everything on clearance. Your favorite shoes. What are you gonna do? You're gonna feel sad about them closing Macy's, or are you gonna jump at the opportunity to buy what you wanted? So that's what a red day is. You know, it's an opportunity if you believe in the company that you're in.
Oh yeah, it's like I tell you, IDEX. Oh my God, it's like IDEX been.
Oh yeah, I had that.
IDEX, I'm sitting in that. They have another one. March 31st, they're getting ready to release, I believe, a medical device. It's called Zomedica. ZOM. Z is in zebra. O. M is in Michael. ZOM. That's a medical company. They came out with an article. They're awaiting FDA approval, and this is a medical stock. They're about to release a medical device come March 31st. So this is some research you guys always gotta stay up to date with.
And
Where do you guys mainly go for your? Oh, I
Go
thought.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Where you guys mainly go for your research? Is there a specific site that you trust?
Good question. Good question.
Alan, you want to go?
I do research through various sources. Even some of my research is done through rumors. If I hear a rumor, you know what I'm saying? If I watch something on YouTube on the company, if the CEO posts something, you know, my research vehicles is everything. I don't rule anything out, because you have to remember, when these analysts are beating up these stocks, a red flag goes up in my head. Why are you beating up this stock so much? And me and Savon spoke about it. What do they call it? These people will hate in public and they'll buy in private. Another one of my favorite YouTube guys said that you can't always believe what these analysts say. They'll say, "Oh, this company is gonna fail. They're doing horrible." Sometimes they putting out this news to drive the stock down so they can load up on it while you run scared. Like, I'm not gonna get it. Next thing you know, this $50 stock is now $180 a share. You know, so we with the news and the research, it's kind of tricky. You know, you got to almost kind of read between the lines when someone's like, "Oh, don't buy this. It's horrible." You know, don't get this diamond. Don't get this piece of gold. It's just a piece of brown metal. Don't get it. But then the value is really high and they buying in private, you know? So various sources, me personally, Yahoo Finance, I listen to rumors. I don't rule anything out. I listen to everything. Just like they said, me and Savon were talking about, they said Dogecoin started as a joke and they're trying to take it as a joke, but other companies are taking it serious. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin was a joke as well, but look at Bitcoin.
Yeah, and you got people running away with the narrative that it's a joke and believing in it. But we have to understand as people, this is one thing that we need to get through our heads. 85% of our population, they don't read. Sorry to put that out there, but if you go into a classroom and there's 30 people in there, I promise you, there is a small percentage on one hand that you can count that's really locked into the classroom. CJ, you recently graduated, so you're not too far left of going to high school. I'm sure majority of you guys, when you were younger, maybe not you, is thinking your brain is elsewhere. Well, that's why they throw things out there to confuse people, because people are easily confused and they cause confusion in their own life. So let's throw them some more. Let's throw a dog a bone. What's the dog gonna do?
Can I answer the question about the research? Can I help out with that?
Yes.
Sure. State your name.
Ronald. This is Ronald here, guys.
Okay.
I guess I would consider myself a beginner investor. I don't own any businesses, but I have built some organizations, I could say. I know Google News is a great source because Google News would draw information from everywhere.
Okay.
And something that you guys probably already do, but within those platforms, most of the time when you click on that stock, the news will come up. And Robinhood and TD Ameritrade, there's so much news in there that's built into those platforms for each stock. And Alan, you talked about this the other day in Webull. Not only does it have the news, but it has the comments from everyone else.
It has a message
what they think about the stock, the message board. But again, Google News is just the easiest thing you can do because it draws the news from every source out there. And also YouTubers. I don't know if we talked about specific YouTubers that we follow, but Alan gave me Chris Sain. He's very informative, S-A-I-N, and he shares his portfolio with you. And he's very transparent. He shows you how his portfolio is going up. He shows you when it's going down. Keenan Grace is another good YouTuber I follow. And Keenan Grace really made me understand what we were talking about earlier, how you should buy on the red days, buy those dips instead of running away and not chasing like something that's running up, but buying the dips on stocks. If it's already running up, probably shouldn't go after it because it could come back down. So just wanted to piggyback on that stuff.
Definitely. And you just made me think about something also on Robinhood. So for example, say if I have Zomedica, I am invested in ZOM, right? On Robinhood, for example, when you click your stock and you scroll to the bottom, Robinhood puts verbiage like, okay, people who invest in ZOM also follow these tickers. And you'll scroll down and it'll show you 6 different or 7 different tickers. And a lot of people don't know that. So, they put it like they're not giving suggestions, but they are giving suggestions. For example, if you invested in say one of the FTFT. Soon as you scroll to the bottom, it may show you a few other stocks that's similar to FTFT, or if not similar, that other people have them in their profile. And you know what I do? I start looking into those other stocks. Okay, well, if someone's invested in FTFT, they're invested in these other 6 stocks too. Take a look at them. So I start looking at them, you know? And one quick point I want to touch on before I forget, and I spoke to my neighbor about this. I'm not going to talk too much. It's important not only to have diverse your profile, but diverse your trading platforms. You can't just have Robinhood. Robinhood has stocks. Other platforms have stocks that's not in Robinhood. Robinhood has stocks that's not in other platforms. Robinhood, you can buy fractional shares. I can't afford 10 shares of Tesla or 1 share of Bitcoin. But what Savon has taught me is, hey, Alan, buy fractional shares. Because I'm looking at Bitcoin 55,000. That's intimidating, you know? And I said, he said, Alan, you could put $20 in there every other day. And then you're going to build some type of earnings based on, or some type of shares based on the fractional shares you purchase. You know, I didn't buy a full share, but I put a few $100s every now and then to get fractional shares. So you get that in Robinhood. I don't know any other platform that offers it. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not promoting them. I'm just promoting the fact that you guys need to diverse your profiles. And also have Webull. Webull allows you to start trading at 4 a.m. A lot of people don't know that. That's pre-market trading. And they let you trade post-market. You can stop trading by 8 p.m. Robinhood closes by 6 p.m., you know? And some penny stocks we talk about, you can't get them in Webull and you can't get them in a Robinhood, but you could get them in TD Ameritrade. I'm not promoting them, but I'm just letting you guys know you got to have multiple trading platforms. And Savon could piggyback on that. I just wanted to state that again before I forget.
Yeah, well, me, I only share one Robinhood with few people. I know CJ has seen my Robinhood. I'm not sharing my other accounts with nobody. And with that being said, I'm very, very patient to know that years from now, you know, my one son that I have is gonna be okay. Because as a young man growing up, it was, you know, difficult, you know, dealing with the financial strain, you know, that I had to go through. And I did not want that when I was a child. So to see that happen to me when, you know, I had gotten married and, you know, finally had gotten a divorce, it was a tough and rough transition, you know, and I was able to transition into creating my own business and seeing it grow, but by no means was it so easy. It was not easy. And to where I'm at right now because of the coronavirus, to know that I've put in the time and hard work and know that I've diversified my platforms, and just to be able to say, you know what, I don't have no money. That's hard to do. That's very hard to do. I've lost, I was weighing 200 and maybe 5 pounds. I'm 175 pounds now because I stopped eating certain things that I used to waste a lot of money in. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. You know, COVID opened up my eyes to say, hey, make food at home. And I started eating healthier and lost weight. And now that I'm back out in the field and working again, it's like, I don't want those food that I used to eat. They taste good to me before, and now they taste bad. And they taste bad because I don't want to buy them. And the money is there to buy them. The money is there to do a lot of things. And I'm just saying, I'm going to just let it chill because the places that I'm coming from, there's no way I'm going to let a sad time or something that I need, you know, like even my car, I use my car as example. I can probably go buy a car tomorrow. I'm not doing it. I would walk. That's the type of mind frame that I have. I would literally walk without going to buy a car. Alan mentioned it, the car depreciates. I'm not buying anything until I reach a certain point. So I'm treating my life like that stock that's not moving and just sitting there like, okay, that money is there, but don't touch it. Just keep on growing on it. You know how many days I've worked money and leave myself with zero? Somebody comes up to me or anybody come up to me and say, hey, can I borrow this? I'm like, I don't got it. That's literally how you got to do to get ahead in life. And like, I ain't got it. You know, so, and I'll say this, a lot of our poorer people tend to give away a lot because we know where we've been, but we give away a lot. But sometimes you have to realize you got to take time for yourself and get to where you're going. And being the person that likes to give, you'll be able to give a lot more when you reach where you're going. And that's what I'm doing currently. I have to tell a lot of people no. I have to tell, if I can tell myself no, I can tell somebody else no. Yep, so just stay the course, guys. You know, start to invest and just stay the course. That's it. That's it.
Savon, you were saying that you use other platforms besides Robinhood. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Can you share which other platforms you use?
Okay, especially my bank. Especially my bank. Wells Fargo, especially. You know, because you can find OTC stocks there over the counter. You know, just think of a whole pie. And by the time some of the pie or a little bit of the pie that's left over comes to IPO on the stock market, that's what you're buying. You know, I want to be able to invest in the stocks that nobody know about. So when they finally come to where, you know, popularity where people know about them, I've already made a good amount of money on them. You know, that's what you call retirement money. You know, where you just say, you know what, I'm going to get into this stock at this level. You know, Alan and I have been researching a lot of those stocks lately. He mentioned KNOS. You can't find that on any platform unless you're in TD Ameritrade or unless you're with your bank. You know, those are over-the-counter stocks.
Okay.
You know, nobody really knows about them. That's where you want to put your money. That's where you can buy 6,000 shares, 10,000 shares. Right, Alan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And even some of the banks block it too. So,
Oh,
you know,
that's the truth.
yeah, yeah. So I was
Yeah.
actually trying to load up on more, but that's why me personally, what works for me, I'm not promoting them, but what works for me is TD Ameritrade. That's my main trading platform.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll go back in. They may block them now. You'll go back in, and then it'll work for you, you know. And then sometimes you gotta call the bank, you know, and they'll work it out to where, you know, you can purchase that stock, you know. So it just might be sometimes at that time you just can't purchase it right now. Just like how I think the SEC paused trading on MARA. You know, you can't do anything on the stock market right now with that. You know, so things change. Just got to keep trying. Just got to keep on going. So when tomorrow comes, I'll be trying to get more of KNOS, Alan.
Definitely.
Hey, man, Andrew, been kind of quiet, man.
Right.
Just taking notes, huh?
I'm writing a lot.
I see you, man. You're getting ready to invest, huh? Gonna
Yeah, I'm writing down a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Writing a lot of stuff down. You know, as long as you have the knowledge, you know, that's what you need, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Hey, just use me as example, guys. I'm telling you, I've sacrificed a lot over the last year. COVID had opened up my eyes, and I'm telling you, if it's a house that I'm supposed to buy tomorrow, it ain't happening. If it's a car that I really, really need tomorrow, it ain't happening.
But you know what? You said like anytime you know you get to that point in your life where you don't have to like purchase something and worry about it, that's when you know you're secure. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It shouldn't have to be like buying stuff and then no worry about where the money is gonna come from to pay for it. You know what I mean? You should set up yourself financially where, you know, if anything happen, you always have something to turn back to, you know, instead of like, you know, you buy something and you have to worry about how you're gonna pay for it. You should already know. Or you can purchase it and finance it and still have the money, but you're not gonna give it to them, but you still have your money. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Putting it into other stuff, you know? Make whatever, if you purchase something, make whatever money you put into something else, pay for it instead of you have to work to pay for that thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's all things, but investing, that's the way to go, man, because trust me, it's 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 a no-brainer, you know?
And what you say, Andrew, is true. I was speaking to Savon earlier this earlier this afternoon about it. I said, you know what my wife got me for Christmas?
Mm,
A planner. That's how simple I am. My wife's like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, just give me a planner.
yes.
That's what she got me for Christmas because you know what? I stay busy, man. I stay hustling. I do what I got to do. And I stay busy. I need a good planner. It's like,
Yeah.
you sure you don't want that laptop? You need a new laptop. I'm like, you're right. I do. But right now I need a planner, you know? So, and one financial analyst said this. He said, and a lot of people, unfortunate situation with COVID, he said, some people may be a few $1,000 from being broke. If $1,000 or $1,400 change your life, it wasn't the money; it was your spending habits.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Some people like, man, I don't got it. I'm broke or whatever. Okay, it's your spending habits. It's not that you don't have it.
But
You
you
know?
know what? You're right. It's the habits, and the habits need to change because, as you were saying earlier, like a lot of people will go line up to buy the new iPhone. Or I remember one time I was going through Manhattan one evening, and some new Jordans came out. And you have people sitting outside on the tents, waiting for the store to open. You know what I mean? Sleeping in sleeping bags, Like I'm looking at that's crazy, You know what I mean? And then no, you invest money in a pair of shoes like that, right? When you wear it, it's going to depreciate. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This dude come up to me one time. I tell him, "Oh, look at my new kicks," and be like, "Yeah, I dropped 600 on those." And I say, "Yo, you dropped 600 on them, man?" Man, that's crazy, yo. You spend $600 on a pair of sneakers. Yeah.
Listen, I'll never forget one of my coworkers, and I'm using races because of the call we're on. She's a
Yeah.
white woman. She's a middle-aged white woman, probably around your age, right?
Mm.
I never forget. She lived in Boca Raton, Florida. We were on a business venture. We had to go do some business for the bank we worked for. And she's like, Alan, she loved going to consignment stores and thrift stores. I'm like, why you go to consignment stores? Then we drove past one. She said, Alan, what do you see in front of that thrift store? Mercedes in Boca. I'm not saying in any other area. I don't know about other areas, but the one she brought me to. God is my witness. In front of the thrift store, Mercedes Benz, Maserati, and whatever. I'm not saying all rich people live cheap, but they don't buy it until they have it. You know,
Yes.
that's the difference. There's nothing wrong with buying something nice for yourself. Don't get me wrong. But some of us feel like we deserve it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy a $600 purse, but don't have money. And I've been in the banking industry, and I'm not gonna name the banks I've worked for out of privacy rules and laws and all that good stuff. But I literally had people come to my desk, hey, I need to take a loan to buy a Gucci purse. Or I need to take a loan to buy that new Louis Vuitton purse. So you have to take a loan to buy that purse, right? You shouldn't be buying that purse. And that's what's wrong in our culture. We buy it before we have it. Nothing wrong with Jordans. Buy it when you have it, or sell Jordans. Buy them and resell them.
Mm-hmm. No, but those are the kind of people when you look at them, they don't have it, and everything that they have, they're wearing it on their body. You know what I mean? They don't have it like that, but every clothes that they have on, every money is in a chain or it's in some kind of a thing, and then they don't have it like that, but they're putting it on like they have it, but they don't. But and then when you try to, if you talk to some of them people about like investing money into stuff, man, I ain't putting my money in them stuff, like, you know what I mean?
But
Just
you,
literally,
but
but no matter how much you explain it to them, they rather have it in things that they can see in a car, some rims, or
But you know what it is? You know what it is, Andrew? A lot of people don't understand how to invest. It's just like me. I'm not perfect, and I'm not a financial advisor, nor I want to present myself as someone who's perfect. I'm a sponge. I'm also learning. I learned from you guys. I learned from Savant. I could either learn from Mr. Savant, the younger gentleman. I'm a sponge. I
Yeah.
never feel like I'm too grown or too old to learn or too young to learn, right? And one of the gentlemen I met today at the tile store where I was buying tile for my bathroom remodel, he told me, yeah, I have a Robinhood, but I don't understand how to use it. So I sent him a beginner video.
Mhm.
So sometimes these young guys or older guys or whatever age, whatever, young women, young, old women, whatever, they may not know how to invest. So they stay away from it.
Mhm.
You understand? And this is what this gentleman told me. He's like, I have a Robinhood. He showed me and everything today. But he says, I don't know how to use it. I'm confused. Whatever terms talking about.
Um, I'm gonna say, based off of what you guys are talking about, this came to mind because mistakes are gonna be made, and we can't beat up some of the people that make these mistakes. We just have to try to understand it and try to help them the best way we know how. And I say that because my son, which is dear to my heart, and of course I'm planning out, you know, his future for him, and I try to teach him how to plan out his future. But I got his back, But either way, I always tell him, regardless if I have your back, you should also make sure you have your back before somebody else have your back, But I continue to let him know things that he's not doing. And listening to you guys talk about buying sneakers and buying certain things that you really don't need right now, my son is doing that. And when I'm doing my research and buying stocks, my son does have a brokerage account because I made sure of it. He does have Coinbase. He does have the things that I have, and he does buy stocks because I force him to buy those stocks. But it's not every time I want to force him. My son's 21. I don't want to force you, but he has his moments where, he may call me one day and say, hey, Dad, buy this stock. And I'm like, what do you know about that stock? I'm the one that usually tell you about stock. I was shocked. Are you trying to tell me about a stock? I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to buy the stock you telling me because, man, you came out of left field with that. And, I listened to him and he said, buy Gap. And I was like, Gap, what do you know about Gap? And he gave me the information. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go buy Gap right now. When he told me about Gap, Gap was $5 and change. And I bought Gap last year, and now Gap is 20 something dollars. And I'm looking at my son and I'm saying, did you buy Gap? You told me about it. He said, no, I didn't buy Gap. You bought Gap. And I'm like, dude, you can't count on me. You got to count on yourself.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, yo, dude, how can you do that? And it's like, because I bought a bunch of sneakers. I said, okay, tell me how much money you put in sneakers. And he said, I put like $1,500 in sneakers. And I said, why? You could have bought Gap. And he's like, these sneakers, I'm going to be able to sell them back. And I said, let me explain this. What sneakers are they? He said, Jordans. Jordans are, I'm like, okay, Jordans. So I'm saying you're investing in Jordans. And I said, how much money has you made from selling them back right now? No, I'm just going to hold them. I was like, if you would have bought the same stock you told me to buy and hold it, you would have, that $1,000, that $1,500 you put in would have grown already.
Mhm.
And you could have bought 100 pairs of sneakers. So, am I going to beat them up for that? No. Well, the reason why I'm telling that story is because young people continue to make mistakes.
Yeah.
If we don't continue to talk to them and talk to them and talk to them, we're going to lose them. So I'm not going to give up on my son because he missed the stock, because they're always going to come around because it's a lesson learned. So the only thing that I could do is say, listen, son, you told me about this stock. Now look at it. Next time you got to make sure you get in, man. Keep your sneakers, but going forward, buy some more stocks, man. Don't tell your dad to buy stocks and watch your dad make money while you sit there and buy sneakers.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
All
Hey,
right.
if I can get
And
1 million, if I can get 1 million, and I'm telling you, TJ, you can get 1 million too. Don't count on my 1 million. You're gonna bring me down to 500,000, man. I don't want that.
All right.
All right, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for us. We did go a little bit over. We started a little bit late, but we didn't go too long, so that's good. The conversation was interesting. So,
Yeah.
yep.
It was short and sweet, and good. They would touch on some good key points. So,
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah, we're getting better and better too. So it just may be 45 minutes.
hey, I appreciate you for inviting me, though. I learned a lot.
You're welcome, man. Just keep on coming. We're gonna try to do this, 2 or 3 times a week, so we can, it's exciting, CJ. It's exciting because when Alan is doing his research, I'm doing my research, and everybody here start doing their research, and you're making good money through your investment, you're gonna want to come and share it with people. So I'm excited. I didn't really have an excitement to come on YouTube until recently when I saw Alan was also doing his research. Then I said to myself, you know what? I feel motivated now to go and share, how I'm going about building my portfolio. And hopefully people out there kind of like listening to our success, and I know, Andrew, you haven't started investing yet, Pierre, you too, but I'm sure with this group, you're going to start seeing success. And when people out there are seeing a group of men and women coming together and creating wealth, it can only help them as well to form their group or be around a group of people who can help them accomplish success. And that's why I'm excited to do this often. So CJ, you're welcome. I see you every day whenever you're at work. And I'm always showing you my portfolio, from the Robinhood, because I want to motivate you as a young man. And CJ, when I first met you, I didn't even know you. I just saw you standing there and I was just, that's what I do. I approach you as a young person because I want to see you have success. So I'm definitely going to want you to come back and share your success with us. Where you start, I don't want to see you there. I want to see you grow your portfolio, which you are doing, but I want to see you grow it big time because that's what I'm doing weekly. And I want to see you do the same. And I want to see everybody here do the same.
I just wanted to share as well that my takeaway from the last session was that, Savant, you talked about our strategy. You can hold some big name stocks, but that aren't really moving as much. So I changed my strategy up. I'm trying to sell a lot of stocks that aren't moving as much. They're keeping my stocks in the green, but basically more penny stocks, because penny stocks have so much more upward potential and so much more growth. $1 to $2, that's 100% right there. So just want to put that out there. Thank you.
Yeah, and Ron,
Yeah.
you don't, it doesn't have to be penny stocks. I give an example. If you can afford like a Moderna and mRNA, you
Yeah.
might get some great upside from Moderna by even having 2 or 3 shares. If you diversify your portfolio, not just getting penny stocks, your portfolio is still going to do good. I'm not just into a lot of penny stocks. Let's just say because of the blockchain technology, I have about 10 penny stocks that's no longer penny stocks. And that's amazing. But I'm not banking my portfolio on those. My portfolio is basically strong because of Square, IBM. I'll even say Tesla because I've been holding that. Just those companies that's right there maintaining the $150 per share range. I don't really invest in $300-400 a share, $500 a share. I invest in like Lucid, you mentioned Lucid, Alan. Even that, I'll take 2, 3 shares of that, because if you put that across the board, that's money being gained. You don't need to be rich overnight. You know, you can. I know that richness is coming from the OTC stocks and from the penny stocks, but that's not what I'm excited about. I'm not even excited to be rich. That's just going to happen, but it doesn't bring me excitement. What brings me excitement is to know that the strong companies is growing my portfolio every 2 months. I'm seeing major growth, and I'm more excited about that.
And I wanted to piggyback on what Ron said when we were talking about research. Ron brought up Google, and I had forgot to mention that Google is a great source, because Savon has mentioned that to me as well. And really quick, just for the new investors, I still consider myself kind of who I'm learning. Hey, there's you brought up CCIV, right, Savon?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, no, you didn't bring up CCIV. He brought up Lucid Motors.
Yeah, Lucid is what I was just talking that you mentioned them. I will buy a stock like that, 2 or 3 shares, because it's going to be worth it if you have a couple of stocks like that.
Correct. And what I wanted to piggyback is Lucid is not public as of yet. They're trying to go, and I spoke to Pierre about this today. They're trying to go public, or trying to get acquired or partnered with, whatever it may be, with a company called CCIV. CCIV is a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company. They're also known as blank check companies. They're like, think about Shark Tank. These guys walk around with, or women walk around with these big checkbooks, and they go around acquiring companies. So sometimes you can't buy the company, but you can buy the other company that's trying to buy them or acquire them. CCIV, which is trying to buy Lucid Motors, is a perfect example. All right. Again, we're just learning. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to explain to you guys what a SPAC is. You have another pending SPAC, and I know we got to go. Ticker symbol T is in Tom, S is in Sam, N is in Nancy, P is in Paul. TSAP. TSNP. It's $1.07 the last time I checked. Speaking of fintech, they're trying to take a company public called Humble Public, right? They're trying to take that company public. This company, Humble, specializes in fintech, blockchain, and mobile payments, such as Venmo, but they're not public yet. So they're trying to get public, or get public through a company called TSNP. So you guys could do your own research. But again, these are just examples I'm giving you of things just like Savon brought up. You got to get in early after you do your research, if you feel like you want to get in.
And to add to that, Alan, you just mentioned TSNP and their fintech, and that would be considered a penny stock. And
Correct.
Ron, that's a good penny stock to get in. Again, we're no financial advisor, but you're interested in penny stocks. You do your research on TSNP, and that may be a good, stock to buy, a couple shares in, and just think of that, and buying also Square, which is fintech as well, which Square, well established. So that's good diversity right there, is to make sure you get into some penny stock plays, but also get into the companies that have solidified themselves, because if you have a number of them, your portfolio is going to grow, so don't get all into penny stock, guys. Diversify, in price as well. Because even though, I say, hey, why I can't afford whatever shares of Tesla, because you're not going to get rich off of it. I would be lying to you if I told you I'm not holding on to Tesla. Of course I am. I'm just not going all in, but I'm holding it for wherever it wants to go. That would be like me saying I'm not getting into Bitcoin. Bitcoin could be $100,000. I'll still put $1 in it. just an example. I'm not gonna not buy it.
Correct. Another perfect example, really quick, is CTRM, which is a dry goods shipping company. What happened? What happened with COVID? It caused the need of more shipment sources, right? Everything's being shipped, everything's being imported, exported. That's what COVID caused, right? So this stock was 34 cents. I went based on a rumor and some research, and I said, you know what? I like what this company's doing. I bought several hundred shares, won't name how many, at 34 cents. Guess what happened to that stock? It jumped up to $1.97. So, and that was a 34-cent stock. That jumped up to $1.97. Guess what? I still follow that stock. I read the news. They acquired more ships. So this tells me this is a company that's growing. So again, you do your research. If you believe in what the company's doing and you feel like they're strong, you like the moves they're making, you know what to do. Everyone has a risk tolerance.
So, Pierre and Andrew, you guys are ready?
Man, listen, guys, all I'm saying, I really, really enjoyed that night. I mean, it's my first night. It seems like I've been in this chat room for a long time. It is very interesting. It is very, very, very full with all information. I mean, I am very passionate right now. It just, it seems like tonight I can go to buy stock right now.
Hey,
I don't even know how to do it yet.
And one thing I want to tell you guys, and this has happened to me. I'm not speaking to any of you, and I know it's getting late. You're gonna start to hate weekends because you're gonna be like, when is Monday coming?
Oh, okay.
Listen,
Am I lying? When is Monday coming? Because that's when the market opens, right?
yeah, listen, I have 2 laptops. I've been in my closet for like a year. It's just right now I'm gonna go and fix them up so I can line them up. Just fun.
Get ready, man.
Yes, man, I am very excited.
Hey, and I was gonna say, hey, buy quickly. So you say you're excited, about being here and getting started. Should have been on your laptop right now. You too, Andrew. You laughing back there. You too.
Listen, I got the computer right there in front of me. It's
all right.
It's on.
So the reason I say that is because of this. As Alan just said, we get excited for the week ahead. We can't wait for the weekends to be over with. There used to be where we can't wait for the weekends to come. When you're invested, it's like, man, get rid of the weekend. It's got
what's going on for the week.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys, you guys do this only on Sunday nights?
Like I'm gonna try to do it 2 to 3 nights a week. We're gonna try to keep Sunday, and it may change, because we may say, as a matter of fact, if we can stay consistent with it, it'll be good. Maybe Alan can come on regardless if I'm on, because we are a crew. Maybe Andrew can come on regardless if I'm on, just because it might just be me and Andrew one night. Ron, it might just be me and you. Even though, I mean, you're what you call it, Alan's friend, you might become my best friend too. We might just be on here talking stuff.
Yeah,
I would take so advantage of that. I would pick your brain, man, because I know you just holding stuff in. Hey, listen, can I say something? Would it be possible maybe if we can screen share? I don't know if you'd be willing, if that's something that's crossing your boundary, to really show us a few things that you've learned.
Screenshot like my portfolio.
Yeah, maybe your portfolio, maybe like a list of stocks that you recommend, like some of the things that we're talking about. If we can have like the visuals, because I know for some people, if they're not seeing it, it's going to be hard for them to understand. When I first started, and I still consider myself a beginner, but when I first started, there's things that I just had to watch the videos so many times to get an understanding of what they were talking about. And sometimes we're just like, we may hesitate, we may be too shy or embarrassed to say that we really don't understand. We need more explanation.
He's right. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna.
Or you can use an example. You can use an example then. You don't necessarily maybe have to be your portfolio itself.
No, I know exactly what to do. I'm gonna screenshot and send you because I'm going over it right now. I have a lot of stocks because of research, and I did that. I think it was August, maybe around August, where it began to register to me that this real change with blockchain is happening. So I started really doing research on that. And when I tell you 95% of the stocks that I bought, I'm not kidding you. You'll see it for yourself. It was basically stupidity of me to sit there and buy a $4, have an opportunity to buy $4 stock. And I bought a fraction of shares just to see it, just to see what it would do. When I tell you I bought a dollar stock and it went from $1 to $20, I'm not kidding you. When I tell you I bought a $4 stock and it went from $4 to $30, I'm not kidding you. When I told you I bought $1.30 per share stock and it went from $1.30 to $15, I'm not kidding you. I'm going to show it to you in my portfolio how effective my research was based off of the change that's happening. And going forward, that's all you have to do is use my portfolio by example and see how everything that I've put in my portfolio basically more than doubled. I'm looking like, are you serious? So you know what I started doing now? Do my research again, and I'm making sure I put in. I'm not gonna buy no fraction. That's lesson learned.
Yeah, that's the idea of this group, because we don't look at anyone smarter than the other. I could learn something from the young man, and I could learn something from the older man. So if you guys hear something or see something, or you hear some news and you want to share with us, we look into it. You look into it as well. That's what this group is for.
Yes.
Yeah, listen to this one.
That crab in the bucket mentality and all that stuff. I'm better than this person, or I'm a finance, whatever. That's not what this group is about. We're here to lift each other. One of you guys who just getting started in investing, you never know. You may touch on a $1 million stock that we didn't know about. You may make all of us rich. So again, don't feel shy or whatever. Just look into it. And let us know if you heard something, or if you see a stock that may be, on the rise.
We all not gonna know what each other know until we share it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
I just think we know something, or the other person know it because we know it. You know what I mean? So as long as we open them out, and it makes you feel better too, because guess what? It's gonna happen to you too, where it doesn't matter how much you know, you're still gonna learn something, because everybody does their research different. You know what I mean? And maybe have an understanding of certain things, or some stuff might be word, whosoever is on here that have more experience than you, they understand wording differently because they're more versed in it. You know what I mean? But everybody have their different ways of learning stuff. So it's, all you have to do is just open them up, and just say something. Even if somebody else know it already, the other person might not, back and forth. And this is how we're going to get through stuff. The thing is with I don't think as people we share enough with each other so we can learn. You know what I mean? Everybody like to be like, oh, I don't want this person to know what I'm doing, because, you know what I mean? Like in this instance, is not something you're taking away from an individual. We're trying to aim to one goal. It's the stock market. I'm making money. So, you know what I mean? I'm not trying, you know, like, you remember this, the pyramid scheme? Like somebody will come and try to, you know, sell you stuff in a pyramid scheme, you
Yeah.
know, that you have to buy from them
Mhm.
so you can gain stuff. This is not what it is, you know what I mean? So we're all heading for the same direction, you know what I mean? So we just have to share that common goal, not to just make one person gain more than you know? So once we share it, we all can just head in the same direction and then help to propel other people along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And the only way to know is to research, you know?
yes, you know.
I stay up till midnight some days looking at stocks.
You know,
Because
all right,
I'm
one other
responsible.
thing though, you know, the next thing is it like with even with the research, as we say, like even if we're doing stuff, right? With the way everything is now with your phone, you just click on something and you have somebody reading it to you. You know what I mean? Even if you're driving down the road, you can be listening to some kind of news or something. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different ways you can do your research. You don't even have to be reading anything. I used to like even Google. If you search it, you can click on something and hear somebody talking about it. You know what I mean? There's different ways of doing the research. So you don't have to be sitting there like I read like 900 different pages, you know?
Yeah, it could just be the news. you know?
Yes. Yeah. So you can just put it in your ears. You're driving down the road, just like how you would listen to your radio, you know? And then the day go by and you still gain a lot of knowledge from listening to stuff, you know, instead of like if you don't have the time to read or, you know? So
Correct.
And I wanna make a valid point based off of what's happening here tonight. Because I'm all about paying attention, listening, and learning, and making changes when you have to make changes, and evaluate, reevaluate sometimes. Sometimes when you evaluate things, you're gonna have to go back and reevaluate again and again and again. And where I'm getting at is this. Me and Alan spoke earlier about keeping this, within the 45 minutes. And I wanted to do so for sure. And now I look and I say, it'd be a great thing to keep it within 45 minutes because, people's attention span is kind of short, But then when you look at life, you got to worry about yourself. And there's going to be days when somebody got to go, somebody can't stay as long. There's going to be days when somebody want to really stay long. There's going to be days when nobody wants to get off. So
yeah.
it's like we're all different. But at the end of the day, we all have one common goal, and it's to build our portfolio. And to be honest with you, there's people out there building their portfolio living on YouTube. Living. When I say living, I mean they're there all day for 8 hours as if it's a job. They're not getting off. And I'm not suggesting that we do that, but I'm just using that as example that when you are having success, there's no time put on success. Because when people become passionate about what they're doing, they want to stay doing it. And yes, we all have our jobs. Everybody here have their job that they have to go do. And I'm not saying let's continue to make this long. I'm just using that as example that I do want it to be 45 minutes, to be honest. But if there's times when we just feel like we're doing right now because we're so passionate, it happens. It happens. But we do have to still be mindful of other people's time as well.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a wonderful feeling to be able to get on here with a group of people and share our knowledge and just come up, just grow from this, just build. Because listen, I was doing this by myself. I have my business partners. We started this YouTube page and it ended up to where they had to go do their thing. One had to go back to work and the other one went back to working on his business and getting his life together. And he had a newborn baby. But I'm still here staying the course. I came off of YouTube for a little while, but I never stopped telling people about it and building up the subscription. So I always stayed the course. But I speak to my business partners about this all the time. I said, if we all stayed the course and stayed on the YouTube, we would all be millionaire right now. Because once they went and did their thing, all the pressure came on me to maintain everything that 3 business partners had to take care of, that we almost like we signed a contract saying it was the 3 of us, and I had to maintain, and they thanked me for it. But at the end of the day, I brought it to, one of them, and well, both of them, were mainly one of them, and he understands where I'm coming from, to where I'm looking at the research that I've done, and I've recently started sharing it with one of the business partners, and he's made so much money in the last month and a half that I've been sharing my portfolio with him. And he's looking at me like, yo, the milk spilled. And I say, yeah, clean up in aisle 10. We could have been like millionaires 3 ways.
Mhm.
And the reason I'm sharing that story is because I was doing this by myself. I don't got to share it with nobody. But I tend to continue to try to help people. So at this point, I don't really put it in my head like, okay, 45 minutes and that's it. Because I'm excited about what I'm doing. And if I got to do it by myself, if Alan got to do it by himself, if only 1 or 2 or 3 of us got to do it by ourselves, I know this for sure. I set out a goal and I'm going to get there regardless of how many times I put it on a YouTube channel. So with that being said, definitely want to keep it at 45 minutes because of other people's time. But when it comes to us coming together, listen, man, that's great motivation. And if we can spend a few minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and just speak on being successful, I feel good about that.
Well said.
I agree.
Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah, 7. Yep.
Happy.
And CJ, I'm excited about you, young man.
All right.
You need some more.
Yeah, man. Congrats, man.
Thank you. Let
Yes,
me
sir.
know next time you guys have another meeting. I'll definitely tune in.
No problem, man. Definitely. You can always, you see me every day, man. So you can just let me know, you got the YouTube channel, man. Just jump on. What we're going to start doing too is putting the link in the YouTube for anyone who might want to click the link and come up and speak. So as we grow, we could start doing things like that. So if you are on the YouTube and you wanted to jump in and say something, we can, send you that link and you can click and come up. Just like you see us up here in the Zoom, you can join us and speak on things. So CJ, if you ever see us on, and you say, you know what, I want to jump on, man, just reach out to us on the YouTube channel and we'll send you that link out there, man. Just jump on up.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, good talk. It's always good. I hope it stay like this forever.
All right, here's the thing, Andrew. We're not hoping, we're just gonna do.
Yeah, you're right.
That's good.
We're gonna do.
I like that.
You guys have a good one, yeah? Respect.
Yes, you too, man.
Everybody try to stay safe, okay?
You too.
All right.
And get out there and invest.
Run. Run it.
I'm still here.
All right, Ron. Respect, yeah?
Yes, man. Have a
All
good
right,
night.
all right, guys.
All right.
All right, guys. Take
All
care. Man.
right.
Yeah.
All right, let me know. Oh, before you guys go, I just looked at my portfolio because you guys brought it up. And I did mention that I believe SOS was gonna, go up tomorrow. Well, I changed my tune. right on the live. Ain't that something else? Yeah, ask me how I know that. But again, it's based off of research. So
Okay.
it's either it's gonna maintain, or it's gonna go up a little bit, or it's gonna come down a little bit. So that's my belief. That's my belief. But I guess we wait till tomorrow and see. But I had a tune that was going up. Now I have a tune where it's either gonna stay the same or it's gonna go up a little bit or it's gonna come down a little bit. But with that being said, doesn't mean you should not invest in it.
Okay.
Again, it's not financial advice. You gotta do your own research and decide on your own. But again, that's my observation.
All right, we'll link up. Respect.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Good night, guys.
All right, fellas. No
Have a
problem.
good night.
All right.
You too.